Hi there, and welcome to the Media Suite video editing, recording and Premiere Pro guide. This is the final part of this introductory series of guides, getting you to a stage where you can record, edit and transition your video to a final export. In this final part, part 8, we'll be looking at the simple process of exporting your finalized video that you've completed all your editing on out to an output file and setting it for the quality that you'll need to upload it to Now or other such virtual learning environments, and or to be placed in YouTube or Vimeo for embedding in Now at least, and for students to play back from the web. Okay, so we've opened the video file that we've been working on throughout. Rather than the slightly shorter one last time we used for transitions, although this file does have transitions in it between all the different portions of the video, and and this has got all the editing, all the text on, all the imported graphics. I've even put some extra sound on this one, which will be something we'll perhaps touch on in a advanced video guide. And the first thing we need to do now is to think about, this is the project file. The first thing we'll need to do is actually, if you want to use and edit this project file again, you'll need to save the file. So you've actually got the project file to work back on again. So you go to File, and you go to Save As, or Save if you've already named the file, and that'll basically ask you what you're going to call it and where you're going to save it. So this would save this file for us, and click Save, and that means we can then come back in and work on this very same video edit file. Now, for the purposes of actually uploading onto the internet and embedding video files in Now, what we need is an output file, an actual video file. Primarily we're thinking about format H.264, which is a generic web-based playback format, which will allow us to play, or students to play, the video back on any device. There are a number of formats which don't work with Apple devices, or might not with all devices, but what you'll find in the Media Suite on the PCs, that the export settings have already been set for you. It'll be edit. It'll be something like CBJ export for YouTube or Media Suite export for YouTube. You won't actually need to change any of these settings at all. These have all been set up when we set the Media Suite up, and in consultation with our colleagues in CBJ to get the best settings for you. So in that instance, all you'll need to do is literally name the file and choose where you want to save it to and output it. So to edit the file, or to export the file, once we've actually got to the stage of completing all our editing, as we can see here from the timeline, we'll go to File, and if you look down this menu, it looks fairly obvious, but we go down to Export, and we want to export it as media. This will bring up our video file, and again we have a playhead that we can work and move through the area look. And again, this just gives us a generic feel of how the video will look. And in here we've got different number of settings. Now, as I say, in the Media Suite this will be set for you, so it's actually set to export to the appropriate format, so we don't need to worry too much about the actual format at all. We look down here, we've got H.264, which is our web-based format, which will give us the best quality and highest compression rating. If we look slightly further down, it's going to give us an estimated file size. So here we're getting sort of 54 megabytes. So again, it's not a massive file. And you'll find with the more editing that you do, the more text and transitions and different video files coming in, it'll create a bigger file. But again, using the compression ratings that's been set up in the Media Suite, you should need to do very little, because it's been set up to give you the maximum compression and also keep the best quality. So here we've got an ability here under output name to actually choose the file that we want to export. So we're going to export this. I'm going to pop it it in our movies folder, and I'm going to call it Media Suite Export Demo. Again, this is where you choose the file that you save it to, the file format. So we click, so we're good in here. So that changes that for us. We can also tick to export the audio only or the video only. So again, there might be a time when we actually need to change those settings, but we shouldn't worry too much about that at the moment. There are a number of other settings that you can change. We don't really need to change too many at the moment, but let's say if we choose H.264, that's going to give us the best quality with the best compression. We can also change or choose the sort of screen size that we want to look at as well. So if you look on here, we can specifically size video files for iPads. So for sort of local storage and playback on iPad, Android tablets, various other things. So here you've also got your different types of HD video file and how they're going to go, and different types of web-based design. So if you upload to your Vimeo, we can change that if we want, but as I say, this has been set up by CVJ, so you won't need to change any of this. I'm just changing it here so you can see how we might do it. So I'm going to export this file as a HD video file. If you do make any changes in terms of the quality that the video doesn't like, the good thing is you'll be able to actually make changes to that, and it will warn you. So it's always worth knowing. So we're going to export this file out to an appropriate format. Depending on the format will depend on the file size, but it will give you a good idea. If we have a look up here, we can have a look at the screen size. So here we've got a 1920 by 1080 being the HD video quality. And simply all you will need to do when you go in to export your file in the Media Suite is File Export. When this comes up, you click on the output name and change the name. You'll then be able to choose the location where it's being saved to as well, which is always handy. It tells you what source it's using, and all you'll need to do from there is finally click Export, and Premiere Pro will do the work, encode the video and export it for you. So we would then click Export and it would export the video for us, which is a really useful feature. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to click Export, and then going to pause this video, and we'll pick it up later once it's exported and you can see the final exported file. So here we go, we'll click Export. And welcome back. So we're about 2 minutes in, and we can see that Premiere Pro is encoding the sequence and exporting it. It's almost completed now, and should just about be finishing off the export process of our video. So there we go, it is now completed. So we can now minimize Premiere Pro. I'm going to be doing this on a Mac, so the kind of file navigation will be slightly different, but as you would navigate on your PC as per normal. Minimize. So any windows we've got open, I'm going to go on my Mac, I'm going to go into my Finder window. I'm going to go to the location where I decide to choose and upload the video. And here we can see all the kind of multi-parts where I've been saving the files to as well. And here we have a Premiere Pro export file that it's created for us, and this will be our full piece of media. We'll right click on it and have a look at the properties. So again, it tells us the codecs it's used. It's H.264, the web-based, reasonably small video, and it gives us a rough idea of the size of the file. So we can close that, and just to check that the file works, if I can double click it, it'll be able to play this video file. And let's have a look at our video now. Here's how video's popped up, and if we click play, it'll play through and be able to see all the transitions. I'll stop a moment, stop wittering, and you'll be able to see how the exported video has finished for us.
Again, all I'm doing is just playing around with it slightly, moving the slides up and down. You can see what sort of effect it has. I'll play around with that.
I was left to my own devices.
Just move to the end of the video now, so we don't have to play through everything we've got left. We can see we've got about 6 or 7 seconds left. So we'll go into the last 10 seconds of the video just so you can see that it completes.
And with it slightly moving the slides up and down, you can see what sort of effect it has.
And there you go, there is our exported video file that we've managed to export from all the editing we did in Adobe Premiere Pro, and the video file that we would have recorded in the Media Suite, and any videos that you brought into it. So there we go, that's been the Premiere Pro Media Suite recording and editing guide, giving you all the basic steps to come in, record a video, do a little bit of basic editing, and create an output that you can then upload to the web for students to view on now. Thank you very much, and goodbye.